One book I recommend to everybody is Leaders in Homeopathic Therapeutics. You know, we call it Nash Leaders. If you see my book, it's almost, you know, the pages are just coming out of this book. You know, this is a little book I have, and almost all pages coming out of this. This is a gem, and this is a gem which you should definitely use. In my college, when I was a professor, I made sure all my students mandatorily had this book and they read it, right? This is very important. I'll just show you a few features of this. Let's take simple example, right? Let's take simple example of Nux vomica in Nash. What does Nash write in Nux vomica? He writes that the constipation in Nux vomica has this symptom, isn't it? Frequent and ineffectual desire to defecate. But he passes small quantities and then the sensation is relieved. But again, the urge continues, isn't it? So there is frequent urge and it is ineffectual, means he is never satisfied. Now he says this is in constipation, but what is the reason? Pathogenesis. What is the reason? Nash writes, Nux vomica constipation is caused by irregular peristaltic action of the intestine. Right? So the bowel movements inside, the peristaltic movements are irregular. That gives ineffectual desire. The bowels are not emptied properly. Right? That is the reason. Whereas in bryonia, the constipation is the result of absolute dryness of the colon. No secretion at all. So in constipation in bryonia, there is no desire. Absolutely no desire in bryonia, isn't it? This is what is written. Now this I am showing you from the software, but now I want to show you that when I was a student and I used to read, what was it that I used to do? See now. This is from my own hand copy which I have at my table. I read it maybe 20 times even today, and I must have read this through and through multiple times, you see. So I'm showing you that on Nux vomica. You can see on page number 16, there are double stars and I have made an arrow and I have written C lycopodium. Refer page number 60. That's what I wrote, you know, when I used to study in my college days. Why? Because that's how every facet I used to compare. I used to compare that one facet. Bryonia because of dryness. Nux vomica constipation because of irregular peristalsis. But again he writes, in lycopodium also constipation, but the pathogenesis is different. What is the pathogenesis of constipation in lycopodium? Which Nash writes, I'll show you that. You see, when you read lycopodium from the same author, he writes, Nux vomica caused by irregular peristalsis, but lycopodium is caused by spasmodic contraction of anus. And this prevents the stool and causes great pain. Unbelievable. So there is spasm at the anal sphincter. That he says could be a reason for constipation in lycopodium, and that gives pain. Interesting, isn't it? Absolutely interesting. So this is what I used to do, and I could show you a lot of things from Nash, but I think this would suffice, this one example. Please read this. It's a lovely book, and you know, it will bring to your command a lot of good things, and you will be a snapshot prescriber with utmost confidence.